Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Stiltman Build-A-Figure Wave Into the Spider-Verse movie Miles Morales figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
6 figures in the wave. You're going to need all 6 figures to complete the Stiltman Build-A-Figure. And a quick look at the artwork on the side of the box. It is the same on the left and the right flap. And there's a real quick frontal view. Alright, let's bust this bad boy open and see what's what. Alright, here we go. Miles Gonzalo Morales, aka the Black Spider-Man. His bio on the back of the package reads, a Brooklyn native and just 13 years old, Miles Morales is a Spider-Man unlike any we've ever seen before. So this is Miles Morales specifically from the Into the Spider-Verse animated movie, which released in 2018. While this is his specific look from the movie, this character and portions of his design are based on the comic book version of Miles Morales, which was introduced by Brian Michael Bendis in 2011 after the death of the Spider-Man in the Ultimate comic books. Just like in the movie, the Ultimate Comics version of Spider-Man was killed and then Miles Morales took up the mantle, except that universe's version of Peter Parker or Spider-Man was just as young as Miles Morales. They were both pretty much teenagers, whereas in the movie we were dealing with an adult Peter Parker that was killed, and then because of what Kingpin was doing with his interdimensional device, it basically got all of these different spider characters from different universes to converge on Miles's universe, and they had to all team up to defeat the Kingpin. But yeah, man, this character design, his history, having one parent that is Hispanic and one that is black, and everything associated with this character is probably one of the best things that Brian Michael Bendis has ever done for comic books. And I mean, a lot of the stuff from the Into the Spider-Verse movie was adapted directly from the comic books, whether it be from the Ultimate Universe or the main 616 universe. The animated film was a smorgasbord of great ideas and designs and animation and voice acting. I mean, the cast was phenomenal. Miles was voiced by Shameik Moore, not to be confused with Shamar Moore, who had some who was making out with the Ain't Nobody Got Time for That lady on one of those shows back in the days. I don't know why that sticks out in my head. Maybe I'll have a little gif of that. But yeah, star-studded cast in this movie, just phenomenal. Miles is packed in with the upper torso apparatus to complete the Stiltman Build-A-Figure. You really played yourself if you haven't seen this film yet. I've probably seen it, I don't know, so many times. I actually just watched it again today just to kind of brush up on what was going on and the character designs and to see what was accurate and what was not, just for this series of reviews. So this is actually Marvel Legends' first foray into this particular property. Even though the movie came out 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, this is our first set of figures from the movie. And I gotta say, man, having this guy in hand, it's a pretty nice figure. It's a very unique design, but it looks so much better in hand than some of the images we've seen. I'm really eager to open the other figures and see how they all look together, and even more eager to complete the team. We actually got 4 people out of this 6-man crew from the movie already in this first wave, so that's exciting. While I don't think this head sculpt is spot on, it is still very, very good. They did a good job here for the $20 Marvel Legends figure, in my opinion. I do see a couple paint imperfections. There is a black line right on his forehead. I don't know if that's how it is on a bunch of the early production samples or what, because I did see this on another reviewer's figure. I'm gonna try to take to this with a little alcohol and see if I can get that off. Looks like some type of little speck of paint or something in the corner of his mouth there as well. But other than that, I don't really see too many paint imperfections or too many issues. Looks like a little bit of discoloration here on his shorts. And I do feel like the costume is pretty accurate, obviously, aside from these sneakers here, which are absolutely not Jordan 1s, but they actually still do look okay. This is kind of a travesty, though. This is just really unfortunate that they couldn't get the license for this to make this complete. If he had the official look of the Jordan 1s here, this figure would be phenomenal. Still a solid offering here from Marvel Legends, I can't lie. But I already talked to my man Dallas James today, and he put me on to somebody doing some custom Jordan 1s for the Legends figure here, so I will be swapping these out as soon as I can. He's rocking the jacket here over the hoodie. Even though the hoodie is not complete through and through, it is connected to the jacket here. But they do make it where you could kind of play with it here, maybe use his hands to make it look like he's separating the jacket a bit too before you see it lapsing underneath there. But I like that. I like the design. Again, I do think it's pretty accurate to the movie, down to the emblem on his uniform, which he spray painted on towards the end of the movie. Out of the package, he comes with one whipping hand for the right and a fist for the left. And then he's also got a whipping hand for the left and a fist for the right. And he's also got an interchangeable head for a masked look, but it should be noted that when you pop the head off, the neck peg stays inside of the head, and it is designed that way. So you pop off the head and the entire neck peg, and then the additional head has the neck peg already inserted in the head, so you can attach it like so. And there he is, fully masked. There we go, there's a look at that. I can see one little paint imperfection on the right eye of the mask here too. There's a little red line. So again, these may be just some issues that are on the first production samples of these. So once the mass-produced versions come out around Christmas time, I don't think we'll probably see these same problems, but I am a little annoyed by it. I did take to this head with a little bit of alcohol and was able to lighten that black mark there, but now it kind of just looks like a indentation or a scar or something like that. So yeah, that's so unfortunate. I was able to get that little paint imperfection off the corner of the mouth though, so that's good. Now that's pretty much it in terms of accessories. They absolutely dropped the ball and not giving us a hooded look. There should have been another look where you can kind of attach the hood onto the head, maybe like the SH Figure Arts version, and detach the resting hood. I wonder if I can use a different hood, but yeah, that's an accessory that they absolutely should have included, considering how iconic that was from the imagery in the movie and how often he did have the hood on. That was surely a missed opportunity. Oh no, I can't even do that because I forgot that the hood is actually still attached here. So I guess with a little heat, you probably could detach it. I mean, there's a lot of kit bash potential here, no question about it. But in terms of articulation, you saw that the head and neck were attached. It doesn't look like this neck can actually move. It is a very long, slender neck, but the head does get a nice range of motion on that neck. Left, right, pivot, full 360, up, down, whatever you want to do there. No issues with the head. Shoulders on the ball joint, they'll come up pretty far. You can actually do a full 360. There is no upper bicep swivel, unfortunately. That may have broken up the scope a little bit too much for these small arms. Would have been nice to get a butterfly joint in there though. Looks like a single hinged elbow, but looks like pinless technology here, and you do get to swivel. It is actually a little bit more than 90 degrees there. Swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Upper torso articulation. It's actually more like an ab crunch, but it's almost at the top of his chest, how deep it is. So you can get him to crunch down forward and back pretty far. You actually get waist articulation too. There's a T-joint at the pelvis. The legs will come up just that far. You do get a split, a decent split. You can see that barbell joint inside there in the pelvis. You don't really get rotation at the upper thigh. It's just that much. I think they kind of dropped the ball as far as that's concerned too. But you do actually get swivel here at the upper knee, and there is a double jointed knee as well, and no pins in the knees either. So that is cool. And then as far as the feet goes, you can get a hinge on the foot, and you do get a nice deep ankle pivot on these bargain basement sneakers here. I don't know what they were thinking, but hey, at least you still do have good articulation at the ankles. The other thing I think they dropped the ball on was giving us some open hands. You know, we needed those 3 sets of hands that they usually give with Spider-Man: the fists, the whipping hands, and the open hands for all the proper expressions and poses and what have you. Considering a little bit of lack of articulation, he is still well articulated, and you can get some nice dynamic poses out of him. Technically, this is our 3rd Miles Morales in the life of the Marvel Legends line. We did get one from Hasbro that was like really awkward in the head, neck, and shoulders area, and then we got a comic-based version from Hasbro, and now we have the Into the Spider-Verse movie version. So let me break those out. And so the one on the left was actually imprinted under the Amazing Spider-Man movie line, and I'm pretty sure that was Hasbro, but it was one of the only comic-based figures in that wave or line, if I'm not mistaken. But as you can see, it's awkwardly proportioned. The head and neck articulation was terrible, although he did have the butterfly joints, ab crunch, waist swivel. It just didn't really look that nice. And it wasn't as accurate to the comic book look as the one on the right, which was from the Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave. Now this is a great buck as far as the size goes, but again, they had an issue with the head and neck articulation. The way the head sits on the neck, the way it moves, no butterfly joints here, very limited range of articulation. And the one thing that I really hated about this figure on the right was you couldn't really get him into that comic book-esque crouching Spider-Man pose because of the way the articulation on the ankles was. That hinge on the foot just was not deep enough and couldn't go upward enough to get him crouching down low. So you were very limited in what you can do with this one. But this figure did come with the 2 open hands. You can see the hands on the Marvel Legends Space Venom Build-A-Figure Wave version are much larger than this newer Into the Spider-Verse version. So swaps are not going to work. And it's really like 5 Miles Morales Spider-Man that we've received so far. The other one was in a 2-pack with Gwen that was categorized as an Into the Spider-Verse version of the 2 of them, but really they were just repaints of the 2 previous comic-based versions of those characters we received. And then we most recently got the Venomized Miles Morales and the Venom Pool Build-A-Figure wave. But this is actually the first figure that I've opened from the Stiltman Build-A-Figure wave, so I don't have any comparisons with the other characters from the movie just yet. You know, those movie designs were very unique and they don't quite match up with the comic designs here, but just for a size comparison, here is the Marvel Legends Rhino Build-A-Figure and the retro carded comic based Spider-Man here. So as I move forward through the other reviews in this wave, then you'll get more comparisons and more swaps and what have you. You know, I'll add on a little bit more through each review. But I am intrigued by this figure. I do think it's cool. I do like it much more now that I have it in hand, and it is one that I would recommend. You definitely have to pick this guy up if you want to complete the Stiltman Build-A-Figure. And I'm really thinking that they're going to go ahead and complete the core crew from the movie and possibly give us some more villains as well. I don't see them just doing Prowler and not maybe taking a crack at that Kingpin or Tombstone or something like that. So I think we'll see more reveals from that movie. But thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, peace.
Now the year's new, I want my spot back. You play a step back, take 2. All y'all cats mad at me, all y'all envious. Too many players on my joint, things strenuous. When my men bust, you just move with such stamina.